Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. In today's video we're gonna talk about Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm gonna do a spoiler review, so this is gonna be a spoiler review, so if you did not watch the movie, just click away and come back after you watch the movie. So as I said, I'm doing a spoiler review. I'll be talking about what happened in the movie, what I liked about the movie, and yeah, basically everything about the movie. So let's get started. Right away, I'm gonna say that this is my favorite movie of all time. This movie brings so much happiness in my life that I cried during the movie in the theaters. It was just so good and so emotional. And you know of which part I'm talking about. Of course, I'm talking about Andrew and Toby when they walked. When they walked in the Ned's apartment. That was just beautiful to see them back as Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield after 7 years and Tobey Maguire after 40. Imagine that. Seeing those legends back on the big screen playing Spider-Man was really so beautiful, and everything that they did with them in this movie was so beautiful. The acting from both of them was so good. You could really tell that Spider-Man means a lot to both of them, especially to Andrew. I think that he did an amazing job as Spider-Man in this movie, but also as Toby. Toby's was really great. Tom Holland and the writers and everyone said that both of them were really happy that they are back and that they are playing Spider-Man. They said that they seemed very excited about it, and I'm really happy about it, that the actors are really connected to this character, and the communication between three of them was so wonderful and beautiful. Like it looks like it was just improvised, like it was not scripted, because it was perfectly acted, perfectly shot, and I just love it. It is so emotional and great and wholesome to see them, three of them together in one shot at the big screen at the theaters. I really like what they did with the memes in this movie. It was great to see memes that are created in the previous movies now that they're back in this movie. It was so wholesome, and the communication, as I said, between three of them was so great, with a lot of memes like my back. And I love that Toby said to Andrew that he's amazing Spider-Man, of course a reference to the Amazing Spider-Man, to the title of his movie. And it was really emotional also when Andrew thought MJ, because we all know what happened with Gwen. So I like that they did those little things that just are so great and so emotional, and it makes the movie much more better. But one of the greatest things about this movie, that Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker and Andrew Garfield Peter Parker redeemed themselves for the mistakes that they made in the previous movies. For an example, Tobey was not able to stop Norman Osborn's death. He was not able to stop the glider that pierced through his body. And now in this movie, he stopped that. He stopped Tom Holland's Peter Parker from killing Norman Osborn, and he redeemed himself. But when we are talking about Andrew, of course, we know what scene we are talking about. The scene where he got MJ. It was really emotional and really great acted, by Andrew Garfield. I really think that Andrew Garfield is the best actor that played the Spider-Man. So yeah. Also, one of the greatest scenes in the movie is the scene where the three of them are all swinging together. It is so beautiful and so emotional, and I think that it is probably one of the best, if not the best movie scenes that we ever had in the movie history. Now let's talk about Daredevil in this movie. I love the little cameo I love the little cameo that Charles Cox had in this movie. I love that he's actually playing Peter Parker's lawyer, and I really like what I did with him. I really like the scene where he caught a brick. I think it is just a really great scene, and it just shows that he still has his powers. I mean, they're not powers, but you know what I'm talking about, and that he is still Daredevil. So that's great. Now let's talk about the villains. The villains in this movie were great. They were not ruined from the previous movies. They were just great, alright? Let's start with the Green Goblin, aka Norman Osborn. He is the best Spider-Man villain we ever had, and maybe one of the best MCU or Marvel villains we ever had. He's so terrifying and so great, and I think that Willem Dafoe is perfectly casted as him. He he has so many great scenes in this movie, and of it just shows the terrifying side of the Goblin. You can really see that he's crazy, that he's lost, and the scene where Goblin killed Aunt May was really brutal and heartbreaking. It was really heartbreaking to see that Tom Holland's Peter Parker loses someone, and it was great to see uh, the words "with great power comes great responsibility." That that was great. Okay, let's talk about Doctor Otto Octavius. He is not a villain in this movie. I mean, he is at the beginning, but he's cured, and it just shows that he was all the time a good guy. But just the arms were controlling him. So I really like that they did that. They showed the good side of him. They showed that Otto is actually a really good guy, and I like the scene with him with Tobey Maguire's Peter. It was really great and emotional with the old theme song from old Spider-Man movies in the back. It was really great. Now let's talk about Electro. Electro was a really good villain in this movie. It shows that he loves his power and that he does not want to lose his power, and this movie really shows that every one of them loves their powers, that they love being those creatures, those monsters. So that was great about them in this movie. But when we are talking about Electro, you could really tell that he was also a good guy, but the power changed him. He loved that power, and in the scene where he has no more powers, it really shows that he was a good guy, and I like the reference to the mouse. Now, when we are talking about Sandman and Lizard, there is not much to talk about them. They were just a really nice addition to the movie. Nothing special. I like the Sandman a little bit more because he's talking about his daughter and he just wants to to go home to his daughter. And Lizard is just here like because everyone wants to see him, and that's it. And he was a little bit terrifying in this movie. Now let's talk about the ending of the movie. The ending of the movie is one of the best superhero movie endings I've ever saw. It is so similar to the superhero movie ending from Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 1 because he goes to MJ and Ed. He wants to tell them that he's Peter Parker and everything, but then he sees MJ and he sees that she is wounded. So he now chooses the life of responsibility. He's now going to be Spider-Man, and he just is now alone as Spider-Man should be. So similar to the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, where he left Mary Jane in Spider-Man 1, where uh, he didn't want to be with her because he is Spider-Man. He has to do it because that is his responsibility. The post-credit scene is great with Eddie Brock and Venom. I like the thing that Eddie is now confused, and the greatest part is when the piece of a Venom symbiote is left in the MCU. So he's going see that piece is probably gonna go on Peter Parker. We probably gonna see the symbiote suit and the Bully Holland. So I'm really happy about that. and I want to see from. I think it's Spider-Man 4 that we're gonna see Venom. I think that's gonna be the villain maybe from of that movie, but I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, guys, that is my honest review on this movie. This movie, as I said, is my favorite movie of all time because it made me so happy. It made me so happy because I saw the legends back. I saw my favorite Spider-Man of all time, Tobey Maguire, back on the big screen. I just could never imagine that. And that's it from this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I want to see the Amazing Spider-Man 3. So, and Spider-Man 4, I want to see Tobey Maguire's and Andrew Garfield's Peter's story to continue. So yeah, that's it. See you in another video.